Germany in 2045. All of the country's energy needs are met by renewable energy. For Germany's mobility, heating, as well as the energy consumed by businesses and factories. Germany drives, lives, and produces climate neutrally. Every day of the year, regardless of the weather. And that works thanks to an electricity-based energy transition, including on German highways. Self-driving trucks use green energy from overhead electrical cables. The energy is not only there to power the vehicles, but to charge their batteries as well. Individual transportation is also autonomous and purely electric. Self-driving cars form convoys on their own. Driving closely behind one another saves both energy and space in the lane. Most people and freight travel via train lines, which also reduces road congestion. By 2045, most highways will have solar arrays installed parallel to the road. They generate climate-neutral electricity and drastically reduce noise. They can also be used as roofs for other transportation routes. This solution is ideal for sealed surfaces, and the roofs protect countless travelers from the elements. If only 3% of Germany's traffic areas were used like this, these solar cells could supply all German households with electricity. In addition to solar energy, wind farms will deliver the bulk of the climate-neutral energy produced. The wind farms will deliver 3 times the amount of energy they currently do. Intelligent camera systems recognize birds and shut down the turbines temporarily if necessary. In order to guarantee sustainable agriculture, biogas production will not be further developed above the level of 2020. Altogether, biomass, hydroelectric and geothermal energy will deliver just under 5% of the energy needed in Germany in the year 2045. Solar power will make up around 1/3, with wind energy covering more than 50% of Germany's power demand. In urban areas, solar cells can be found not only on rooftops, but integrated into building facades as well. An energy-efficient style of construction will greatly reduce the energy needs of buildings. Additionally, heat pumps and other technology that increase efficiency will be utilized. Heat pumps can take advantage of latent sources of heat already present, like waste heat in sewage systems. The ambient temperature in winter is at least 12 degrees Celsius. Heat pumps compress this low heat level to a higher level with the help of electricity. In the process, heat pumps generate well over 3 kilowatt-hours of heat with just 1 kilowatt-hour of green electricity. The electrical energy needed in the process is thus used very efficiently. This approach is also possible with other heat sources in cities, such as subway tunnels. Here too, the temperature rarely drops below 12 degrees Celsius. Buildings old and new can then be heated climate neutrally via a district heating network. However, not only the heat supply, but also mobility has changed significantly compared to the 2020s. Car traffic has been significantly reduced and has run solely on electricity for several years now. People get around in urban areas using public transportation and bicycles. There are charging stations everywhere for the bikes as well. On wide bike lanes, residents can ride across the entire city without intersections and contact with other vehicles using the road. In addition, driverless buses run every minute in the cities. They follow simple lines on the road. If necessary, you can order an autonomous cab using a simple app, just in case you have to get to the train station quickly. In the 2020s, traffic was a major source of noise pollution in many German cities, and significantly reduced the quality of life. By 2045, there will no longer be exhaust fumes from cars, and there will be significantly less noise. New traffic concepts and e-mobility significantly improve the quality of life for residents of urban centers. If you reach the outskirts of the city by public transportation, you have a variety of options at your disposal to continue your journey. Depending on what you need, you can use the app to choose between an e-bike, a family car, or a two-seater. And you can choose between an autonomous vehicle that steers for you or a car you drive yourself. Yes, the fun of driving a car will still be available in the future. In rural areas, cars will continue to play a role, including having your own car. Electric vehicles will play a major role in the energy transition. In 2045, the batteries of all German passenger cars have an enormous capacity when added together. If they are all fully charged, they could supply the entire country with electricity for about 2 days. And that prospect could support dynamic pricing. If the sun shines and winds are strong, electricity is cheap, and the batteries get charged. Heat pumps can also utilize this ideal surplus of green electricity. When there's a lot of solar and wind power, they also run although no heat is needed at that moment. The heat they generate is stored in a water tank. At night, if there is little wind, green electricity from batteries can support the grid. In return, battery owners are paid per kilowatt hour. At the same time, the heat from storage tanks provides comfortable temperatures in homes. Most cars spend at least 90% of their time parked. There is thus always enough time to charge first, feed part of it back into the grid if necessary, and if there is sufficient wind or solar energy, to fill up again with electricity for the next drive. This flexible adjustment of electricity demand to the current supply of wind and solar energy is a massive boon to the expansion of renewables. Factories and industrial complexes can also flexibly manage their own energy needs. Machines that consume a lot of power, such as laser cutters or other devices, will run primarily when there is sufficient solar power from the roof, or when a lot of green power is available through the grid and the price of electricity is therefore cheap. Creation of compressed air, which is often used in factories, or the production of nitrogen, can both be adapted to the supply of energy from the roof or to low electricity prices. In this way, even the most basic things can become a storage device for renewable energy. Thanks to flexible production methods, self-generated solar power covers a large part of the required electrical energy over the course of the year. And highly efficient solar cells mean the power only costs the company a few cents per kilowatt hour. Flexible adaptation of demand significantly reduces the need for large energy storage facilities, which reduces costs for everyone. There will nevertheless be days when, despite all flexibility, more energy is needed. There are larger storage facilities for that. To fill these storage facilities with energy produced climate neutrally, water electrolysis, also known as water splitting, produces energy-rich hydrogen using green electricity. Hydrogen is produced specifically when there is a lot of wind and the sun is shining. This green hydrogen can then be stored in underground caverns, for example, where natural gas used to be stored. When needed, the hydrogen flows via pipelines to power plants. When no renewable electricity is available, power plants can then still produce green electricity for several days. In cities, combined heat and power plants also use green hydrogen during the dark doldrums. These CHP units are highly efficient because they not only produce electricity, their waste heat supplies the heating systems of neighboring houses via heat networks. Climate-neutral hydrogen not only secures energy supply in the event of a shortage of solar and wind power. The energy-rich gas is also used in the chemical industry to produce important basic substances, such as ammonia. By 2045, green hydrogen will have replaced coal in steel production. Hydrogen is also used in the production of synthetic fuels. And these climate-neutral fuels then replace things like kerosene currently used by airplanes. But a lot of energy is lost in the conversion of solar and wind energy into green hydrogen and carbon-neutral fuels. So it makes more sense to use the green electricity directly, such as in EVs and heat pumps. For this reason, green electricity is used whenever possible directly, for mobility, for heating, and to power factories. The goal is to avoid a detour via another energy carrier. Only when green electricity cannot be used directly, such as in parts of the maritime and aviation industries, are synthetic, climate-neutral energy carriers used. This electricity-based energy transition is very efficient. Intelligent networking of individual renewable energy generators plays a central role in the process. To this end, the existing power grid in Europe is being expanded and reinforced by special power transmission lines known as high-voltage direct current, or HVDC. When a windy low-pressure zone reaches the Portuguese coast, the surplus wind power not needed locally is immediately available to all European consumers, and this happens the whole time the low-pressure area passes through Europe. Since the wind always blows somewhere on the coast, electricity constantly flows into this grid. The offshore plants in the North Sea and Baltic Sea play an important role here. They supply around a quarter of the electrical energy required in Germany. The electricity flows ashore via submarine cables or to special energy islands. Large electrolysis plants are located here. They produce energy-rich hydrogen from water and wind power. And this climate-neutral green hydrogen then flows to the mainland via pipelines. The pipelines are part of a dedicated hydrogen network. It supplies Germany with the green energy carrier. The green hydrogen network exists alongside the power grid and connects key industrial sites, such as the Ruhr region with its steel production, as well as the chemical companies along the Rhine or in parts of central Germany. Not only hydrogen produced in Germany, but also green hydrogen from sunny and windy countries in southern Europe and North Africa flow into this network. Imports of this climate-neutral energy will cover around 20% of Germany's total energy requirements in 2045. Around 80% of Germany's energy needs will thus be met with domestic renewable energy. The goal is a golden opportunity for Germany as an industrial location. New technologies will be developed that promote sustainable economic growth. There is a gradual shift to intelligent means of transportation, dynamic pricing of electricity, flexible electricity consumption based on the supply of renewables, new storage technologies, and a European power grid and hydrogen network to support this electricity-based energy transition. And this is how, by 2045, the people of Germany will travel, live, and work climate neutrally every day of the year, regardless of the weather.